Namaste Radio. Listen online at namasteradiohouston.com. Download our app available on Apple and Android products. जी हाँ, Namaste Radio. Navigating the complex world of health insurance can be frustrating. So why wait? Call an expert today. We present to you Simple Choice Insurance Brokerage. Call them today and get a health plan that fits the way you and your family lives.
Simple Choice offers affordable health insurance for you and for the people you love. Simple Choice will make this easy for you. They will assist you through the process of selection and utilization of your benefits. Simple Choice provides excellent service.
Want to learn more about individual plans, Medicare, dental, vision? Call Simple Choice today. Get a head start on your 2022 health insurance.
Visit www.simplechoiceib.com/namaste or call 832-626-7791. That's 832-626-7791. Follow Simple Choice Insurance Brokerage on Facebook and Instagram.
Are you feeling dull, down, and tired? Let us help you get out of this cocoon feeling beautiful and relaxed. Only at Kalasi Divas Salon and Spa. Open every Tuesday to Friday, 12 to 7, Saturday, Sunday, 12 to 6. For appointments, call 281-646-0100 or text us at 856-693-8970. For more specials, like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. This is Ruby, and I believe you deserve a little me time.
Welcome to India House Houston. India House is a non-profit organization that serves the community by bringing resources, education, and services to Houstonians like health and fitness programs, language classes, charity clinic, and various events. Help the community now. Sponsor a program or volunteer for free food distribution at India House. Host your next indoor or outdoor events at India House facility, parties, weddings, or corporate events. Located centrally at 8888 West Belford, Houston. For details, call 713-929-1900 or visit indiahouseinc.org. Follow India House Houston on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
At Allings, we are all about the moments. The moments when family comes together for a sizzling hot plate and mocktails. The moments when friends order online for an at-home movie night. The moments when a child embraces their mom for the first time in years. Join us at Allings or order on DoorDash and make your moment. Halal menu available. Visit allingschinese.com.
Witness centuries of ancient Chinese culture. Shenyun breathes life into legends and tales nearly lost forever. Complemented by the world's foremost classically trained performers, breathtaking backdrops, a full Western orchestra, and the unique touch of traditional Chinese instruments. Coming to Wortham Center, March 25th through the 27th. Buy tickets now at shenyun.com. That's SHENYUN.com.
The Intense Tour. The top 4 winners of Indian Idol Season 12 live in concert. Pawandeep Rajan, Mohammad Danish, Arunita Kanjila, Sayali Kamble.
For sponsorship and more information, contact Rajinder or dial our 24/7 phone number 281-975-7469.
You're listening to Namaste Radio.
Bogembo, Kushua.
जी हाँ, मोगैम्बो बहुत खुश हुआ. Welcome back to Namaste Radio. This is Vanshika on 99.5 FM, and today I am joined with Charu and guys, we are live. Yes, we are live on Facebook. So if you are listening to us on any platform, चाहे 99.5 FM हो या वो हमारी वेबसाइट हो namasteradiohouston.com या हमारी एप्स हो iPhone पे या Android पे, And now we are live on Facebook, on Namaste Radio's Facebook. तो आप हमें देख भी सकते हैं in studio जो हम बैठे हैं सब लोग यहाँ पे. And this is the favorite part when we are always speaking with, our special guest right here. And आज हमारे साथ एक बहुत ही special guest जुड़ा है. लेकिन इससे पहले मैं उनकी बात करूं, I want to say that I hope you all enjoyed the first hour of our show that Charu and I put together. And it was Bollywood and थोड़ी मस्ती गाने and all of that. And now our show आगे बढ़ाते हुए I want to thank India House Houston. And पीछे ये जो बैकग्राउंड म्यूजिक चल रहा है वो भी बड़ा अच्छा जा रहा है चकदे का with the India House Houston theme. So India House Houston, free program, free services, they're doing a lot for the community. आप उनकी वेबसाइट पे जा सकते हैं indiahouseinc.org and you can call them at 713-929-1900 for any further details. And definitely follow India House Houston on Facebook and Instagram. So now it's my honor to introduce our guest for today जो आ चुकी हैं हमारे साथ बैठी हैं. अगर आप Facebook लाइव पे देख रहे हैं, शी इज़ हियर. इट इज़ Bhawna Luthra ji. Thank you so much, Bhawna ji, for coming to Namaste Radio's show today and talking to us. Bhawna ji is a licensed marriage and family therapist and licensed professional counselor who has been in practice for last 13 years. She has experience in working in hospital, school, university settings, and in her current practice, she provides counseling to individuals suffering from depression, anxiety, and trauma. She also specializes in providing marital and family therapy to families and relationship distress. And बहुत सारी चीज़ें भावना जी करती हैं. So today we are going to talk to her in detail about all of this. But she has brought together a topic which is so important, and that's why this hour is so important. And I'm so excited that I will be listening to her on this topic. So पहले तो नमस्ते एंड वेलकम भावना जी.
नमस्ते. शो का नाम ही नमस्ते
नमस्ते है. बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. सो वेलकम भावना जी. आज आई थिंक ये सेकंड टाइम है जब आप शो पे हैं, लेकिन लास्ट टाइम हमने वर्चुअल किया था. है ना. इस बार आज इन स्टूडियो की फील ही अलग होती है.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. वो एनर्जी डिफरेंट है.
एग्जैक्टली.
एक आपने एनर्जी इन पर्सन और दूसरा नमस्ते कहते ही एकदम मन खिल जाता है.
लाइट. आई कुड सी द स्माइल ऑन योर फेस. सो वेलकम अगेन भावना जी. एंड ऑफ कोर्स जॉइनिंग अस टुडे ऑन पेरेंटिंग टॉपिक इज गोइंग टू बी चारू, जो खुद अब 3-4 कितने बच्चों की मम्मी है.
3 humans and 1 dog.
1 dog, yes. So आज का टॉपिक भावना जी, before Charu digs in and gets into the question, क्या सोचा था आपने ये ये
एक्चुअली आप लास्ट मंथ हम शो करने वाले थे.
हाँ.
तो वैलेंटाइंस का टाइम चल रहा था, तो हम सोच रहे थे कि कुछ लव के अराउंड करते हैं
जी.
तो मैंने सोचा कि फर्स्ट लव क्या होता है चाइल्ड के, मतलब जब हम दुनिया में आते हैं हमारा फर्स्ट लव क्या है. हमारा फर्स्ट लव हमारे पेरेंट्स हैं जी. तो मैं ये एक्चुअली शो भी अपने पेरेंट्स को डेडिकेट करना चाहती हूँ.
वेरी गुड वेरी गुड.
सो बिकॉज मुझे वेयर आई एम टुडे एंड हु आई एम टुडे and they are the reason I'm here today. So I'm in this world.
That's true.
So I want to dedicate to them, both of my parents. And parenting, हम सोचते हैं कि parenting जो है वो हम बच्चे पैदा करने से पेरेंटिंग का पता चलता है
जी.
लेकिन हमारी जो पेरेंटिंग जो है, क्या हम कैसे पेरेंट होंगे, वो उसी दिन से स्टार्ट हो जाता है जिस दिन हम जन्म लेते हैं. अच्छा. तो इसीलिए उस चीज़ को समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है. इसीलिए मैंने ये टॉपिक चुना, क्योंकि मैं अगर पेरेंट हूँ और जैसी पेरेंट हूँ वो मेरी अपब्रिंगिंग से रिलेटेड है.
That's true. That's
right?
true.
How close I was to my parents, what kind of relationship I had with my parents really projected into my parenting. So it kind of goes into very deeper a part of who we are.
Right.
So what we do is we think we read books. है ना. हम लोग बुक्स पढ़ते हैं जब हम पेरेंट्स बनते हैं कि हाँ मुझे ये पढ़ना चाहिए, मुझे कैसे अच्छा पेरेंट बनना है. और मैंने भी बहुत पढ़ी
जी.
लेकिन जो मैंने ये सीखा जब मेरे बच्चे हुए कि जो मुझे जैसे मेरे पेरेंट्स ने रेज किया था, वो दैट केप्ट ऑन शोइंग अप
in
my parenting styles.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what made me curious that we need to really see what kind of attachment styles we have with our parents.
Right.
Right. Which I'll go deeper dive into that.
Sure.
So that's where when we were talking relationships and love, and then that's where I was like, oh, this is time. It's really, this show is not just about the parenting. The topic was, how am I doing as a parent,
yes.
right? And self-acceptance. That was, I was thinking, कि हमें as whoever we are, we have to accept as a person. कि तभी हम लोग उसको पेरेंटिंग में अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि एक्सेप्टेंस तो पहले आती है ना पेरेंट्स बनने से पहले कि हाँ मेरे पेरेंट्स लाउजी थे या मेरे पेरेंट्स अच्छे थे, दिस इज हु आई एम बिकम, तो दैट हाउ आई विल टेक इट ऑन. सॉरी, आपका क्वेश्चन छोटा
नहीं, परफेक्ट. इट्स सच एन इम्पोर्टेंट एंड यू नो टॉपिक दैट जितना इसके बारे में बात करें उतना कम है, लेकिन आज जो भावना जी एक ट्विस्ट लेकर आई हैं, वी नेवर थिंक अबाउट इट. शी इज सो exactly like she said it that, you know, हमें लगता है हम parent तब हैं probably when we conceive, or, you know, like, okay, now our parenting journey has started. But I guess that's the key point of our show today, where it's probably you are wanting to be, you are turning into whatever parent you are from the day you are born. So yes, our topic for today is how am I doing as a parent? And Charu, we're going to, she's going to start with her first set of questions for Bhavna ji.
It's actually very interesting what she said, because, you know, as you say, you know, that, you know, everyone is different, right? So everyone's parenting style is different. Me and my sister are different. As you said, you know, your parents, you look into your parents. So why don't you tell us, you know, because I think the way I bring my children up is different too with my sister, you know. So why don't you tell us, are there different parenting styles in this world that, you know, people actually relate to?
So it's going back to, again, which I was going to address later, the attachment styles, right? So when you were born, how your relationship with your parents was, that's the style, right?
Right.
And then were you raised by your grandparents? Were you raised in a daycare? Were you raised at home?
I see.
Right? That's what styles are. There are books written about it. I follow a lot of Gottman's work. I have studies that Bowlby's attachment work. So all these things, you know, it just kind of, how we call it, repackaged that styles. But in the deeper root of the work, I would say that how you were raised is the styles. Right? Okay. If you're like in India, we are raised in a big household, like extended family members, so that grandmother is taking care, or aunt and uncles are taking care of you. You're not being raised by just parents,
one person,
right?
Yes, there are multiple people.
Exactly. So it's like that could be very secure attachment, right? And then there is a time then when you are raised spending a lot of time in a daycare, right? Which is very common even in India now, like there are nuclear families, and even here, of course, we have,
we live with that.
We rely on that. So when you are raised in a daycare, so I still remember to the day when I was dropped at my kindergarten, pre-K school, and I still remember me standing at the door, right, crying.
Their parents.
And they left me, and I cried the whole day. And I remember who pacified me, that friend. And she is my friend to this day.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
That's nice.
So you could see our friendship goes, she pacified me. She became my secure attachment, in a way. So, and then this is how it is, like how a parent may be providing you the secure attachment, but how you take it, that attachment. So I felt like I was basically left alone. My insecurity developed. Every time my parents disappeared, left me with cousins or uncle's house, I was just like, are they coming back? Are they coming back, or are they going to leave me? Sometimes they'll say, we'll be back tomorrow. And they don't come back for 3-4 days.
I see.
Right? Nani ke ghar,
Yes.
when you go to grandparents' house, they say, oh, we'll be back tomorrow. And then they don't come back for 2 days. And then you feel like, oh, I left alone. So I developed this sort of what we call it insecurity.
Correct.
So that became part of my insecurity attachment. I'm just giving me, saying me, but it could be anybody. So then we develop, there's the insecure attachment, and then there's the anxiousness. That's what we call it, anxious attachment. Right? We became anxious in our personality, worry, that fears. All those things comes from there.
Right.
And that project into our parenting when we become parents. When we leave our children at daycare and we wonder, like, is my child safe? right?
Yes.
Where is that coming from?
The insecurities that we learned from our past.
Yes, it just kind of transferred into our parenting styles.
And
right?
I see that a lot with a lot of people. कई बार होता है कि like you said, बचपन के experiences से अब वो experience हमारे अच्छे भी हो सकते हैं, बुरे भी हो सकते हैं. So a lot of times, and I'm going to dig into this topic, just thought of ऐसे ही आया मुझे. Some kids who are sexually abused. They don't want to leave their kids with anybody.
Exactly.
Because it's my experience.
It's a fear.
I just वो एक trust नहीं हो पाएगा कभी भी.
Yes. So that's where the anxious attachment comes from. Is that we are very feel unsafe everywhere. Not just with parenting, in our relationship, informing in our relationship during dating, to even getting married, the partner we choose. Actually, funny thing is we kind of find the same kind of partner who is also maybe insecure. Right? It just somehow we attract to the same things. And imagine having both people having the fear, and then you're raising the child with the fear. Right? So it's sort of transferred. Generational. That's what we call it. Generational trauma, right? It's not like, okay, here is drama, you take it, right? It's just how it stems from our fears and anxiety and anxiousness, right? And you said very important topic there. You brought it up, like if you are sexually or physically abused, in every abuse possible, if anybody has experience, it definitely shows up in our parenting styles.
Yes, it does.
And the child has to live with that.
Yes.
And then the child has to either, if they, I just call it self-work. If we don't do our self-work, it becomes a generational trauma. Right? So what we are happening in the world nowadays with war or whatever you call it, people are going through a lot of trauma.
They are.
We are going through displacement, right?
Yes.
Like especially when as an immigrant, we move, right? It's all itself is a traumatic experience, right? So if you grew up in a very insecure setting, and then you are here in a different country, so you project your fear into everything. Every decisions you make
is made with fear.
Made with fear, with worries, anxieties, right? So that's, it's again, it goes back to our parenting. How we were parented.
Absolutely. Right? And if my parents were able to leave me alone for weekend parties, and I'm used to it, so I would also as a parent be like, नहीं ठीक है. लेकिन sometimes I come across people who feel very guilty. नहीं यार, हमारे parents तो हमारे साथ 24 घंटे थे. हम नहीं छोड़ सकते. This is not fair. This is bad for the kids. And it's different. And I'm trying to throw in examples because if you're listening to us, you can relate to it more. That छोटी छोटी चीजों में जो हमारे experience हैं बचपन से जब से हम पैदा हुए हैं till now. They reflect on our parenting.
Yes. So see, what I see in my work is like, fix my child.
Okay.
Okay, this child's behavior is just outrageous, or my child is ADHD, my child has this issue, they are keeping things from me, they don't tell me everything, or they're just misbehaving. So I see that, like, I tell the parents, I'm not working with the child till I work with you, because we have to see what are they bringing to table, how are they parented, and also I explore their past, like how they were parented. So it's just, I don't work with the child till I work with parents. Because there's always something there, right? If the child is lying to you, why does the child feel that they need to lie to you? Right? We have to explore that. So what are we doing? Are we lying in front of them? Could be simple thing as that. They catch us lying to our friends or here, there, like covering stuff. Or it could be something from you have learned. It's a learned behavior that truth is very covered. It has to be gelled with something, right? How you present.
Absolutely.
So that's why it's important to do fixing the child. There's no such thing and a child, right? I do a lot of work with young population. So high school, college going people, right? And sometimes I can work with the parents in these situations. But I could see through that, where it's coming from, like where is those fears and anxieties are coming, where the depression comes from. And sometimes I say that, tell me about your mom. Like, how do you view your mom?
I see.
How do you view your dad? Like in one sentence or maybe like
a paragraph,
half an hour long discussions. It's up to you. So when a person presents with them, when I'm talking to the young people, when they're dating, they're also finding partners which they have as a parent, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you have a good relationship with your father,
Yeah.
a secure attachment with your father, then you will be looking for a partner like your father.
I was just about to say that. I think while growing up, I used to always be like, मुझे पापा जैसा लड़का चाहिए. Like वो teenage years में, when initial it's like, no, I don't want to get married. Then I want to marry. I want to only be with my papa. And then it's like, when the reality kicks in, like, yeah, he needs to be like my dad. That always comes in.
Yes,
I don't know if I was consciously, I searched for it that way. I don't think so. But it was in my talks for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, on the way today, I was listening to this podcast that how we choose a partner based on our attachment style.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. It was I was curious, what is that about? Because it starts from there, you know, because before I become parent, I have to find the right partner, right?
Yes.
If I end up with some lousy partner, that's it. It's a dead end, right?
It is.
So I was just thinking that if a person is securely attached, then they will look for the partner who's securely attached. And what kind of question you ask if you, like when you're dating the person, that what would you ask them? Like, definitely ask them about their parents, not just say what do they do, how much money they make, where do they live. No, just talk about that, who you were close to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell me about your mom. Like, were you close to it? What if you were to describe your mom?
Yeah.
Like, you become like a little therapist, like when you're forming a relationship.
And I think you're judging them to see how how respectful they can be towards the mom, the sister, the ladies in general.
Exactly.
That says a lot too.
I think it's also the relationship that you are built with your parents, is what you want to find out, who was closer, whom were you attached to closer.
Yeah.
That shows how your parents are, like, who is more responsive to the child also.
Yes.
Is the father or is the mother or is it both?
Yes.
In a relationship.
It's like a disciplining. Like, people ask this question, like, who disciplined the most, mom or dad?
Always the moms.
Right? So I growing up, my mom always, we were more spending time with her. Dad would come home late. So dad always had to be nice one.
Yeah.
Like, always
Right.
bringing candy,
Candy,
sugar, all that.
Yeah.
And mom, poor lady, had to do all the dirty work in the house and taking care of us.
Right. And make sure the kids are calm by the time the husbands come home.
Yes, have to be clean and everything, homework is done. So I would say that, like, I had that relationship, pull and push kind of relationship with her, but with the dad, he's just perfect human being in this planet, right? And poor mom, she was doing all that, but then she never got credit, right?
Yeah.
So then I always thought maybe my attachment with my mom is not secure, And this is how I was thinking in my mind when I was first became therapist. Like, then I did more deeper work and I realized my relationship with her is secure in a different way, right? Because she was making sure I was safe. Like you said, she would make sure I'm not left with somewhere where my physical safety, emotional safety is not there.
Right.
Emotional safety is the key.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And we sometimes dismiss that. And I see that in a lot of immigrant parents, that they are providing physical safety, they are providing financial safety, and every other aspect of the safeties you can call it. But somehow we are not giving emotion safety to our children. When I say emotion safety, which I was going to say that when you said what kind of parent, the first one comes to my mind is the dismissive parents.
Okay.
I see a lot of parents who are very dismissive. They were like, why are you crying? Stop crying. It's not worth of crying. Grow up. You can do it.
Toughen up.
Buckle up. Yes. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Strap up. All these things we hear.
So they don't ask the kid कि क्यों, क्या reason है?
मैं तुम्हारी when I was your age, right? And growing up in India, we had a lot more first challenging than you, and here you got everything, and you're still complaining. So what are we saying? We are becoming totally dismissive. Why you made an B? You can make an A plus.
Right.
So those type of things. You have the potential. But you're not working hard enough. See, these are very simple words thrown around.
Yeah.
And the child thinks, maybe I am lacking. Maybe I am something I'm not working hard. Maybe I'm not smart enough. Maybe I'm not good enough. Like
self-doubt.
You're putting the doubt into their own children. Yes.
So that's a dismissive parent. And I see that in our Desi community.
Oh, yes,
a lot,
totally,
right?
totally.
So that we are not providing the emotional safety that they don't trust themselves. And imagine how would they trust themselves as finding a partner, right? A partner. This is a growing concern in our community. Why our children are not getting married on time?
Yes.
I'm putting a lot of issues out there, social issues.
No, because these are things to talk and think
because
about.
we have, the person is so feeling emotionally unsafe. They grew up with that. They don't trust their judgment.
Yeah.
There are a lot of self-doubt. So what all these issues of drug addiction or porn addictions or any kind of issues, they emerge from self-doubt. Right? So this is a bigger problem. Like there are a lot of things stem from there, how we are parented.
So dismissive parents are one, but aren't there some parents who are overprotective? Like that also kind of doesn't let the child bloom, right?
Yes. So there are overprotective, overbearing parents, what we call
Mera
it.
chunnu, mera monu types.
Yes. I
had to say
myself
that.
a little bit there too. When my college-going kids come home, I'm like, oh, let me make food for you, and they're like, come on, Mom, let us grow up. We have to make our own food now. But it's just my protective part. Like, oh, they should.
Because you've seen them after so long.
Yes, but I see that also same time. But it's just like, this is the way I connect with them. Like, okay, what do you like to eat? And I realized that my mom did the same thing with me. So I see that I'm doing, but somehow it's just like so hard to take distant from it.
Yeah.
So I'm doing the same thing. So it's just overguarded, overprotective. So I think first thing is like, whenever you're giving a lecture to the child, even if you have the urge to give lecture, just in between say, what do you think? Just say, throw this sentence out there. What do you think?
So when we are talking to our child, whatever it is, always give them an option to
explain themselves.
what they're talking. Okay, that's a great point.
It's hard for them to they block us, they tune it off.
Yeah,
I've seen that with my children. It's like, no, mom is talking, dad's talking. It's like, okay, I'm sitting here. Keep on going. Like, okay, I'll get up.
और थोड़ा हमारे देसी कल्चर में, I'm going to say it this way, sometimes it may sound not very right, but एक थोड़ा है कि बस माँ बाप ने कह दिया तो कह दिया, they're always right. So I think then kids start resisting that also, and then they're like they throw deaf ear to you कि नहीं अब मुझे सुनना ही नहीं है. ये लोग
तो वो
सुनते ही नहीं हैं.
disapproving parenting आ जाता है. हर चीज हम कहते हैं तो नहीं बोलते, नहीं, let me tell you. एक ये word बहुत common है हमारे. We just say, let me tell you.
मुझे सब पता है.
हाँ, हम parent is like always have the expert high.
हमें 40 साल ज़्यादा का experience है. Mom and dad, I'm not saying anything to you. बाद में मुझे डांट ना पड़े. But these are general topics.
Yeah, it is. Because even when I sit and talk to my kids, like for Rishabh, as you said, every time my kids come from school, I ask them, and she knows that, how was your day? What went wrong? Anything good to talk about? Anything bad to talk about? Initially, they'll come, nothing, all good, all fine. Okay. And that's a constant thing, everyday question. 2 din ke baad, Mom, that day this happened, that happened. Oh, really? What happened? I don't go question, Arey, maine to pucha tha, tune bataya nahi.
That's good.
I don't. But I'm like, okay, what happened? I'm like, is everything okay? Did anybody get hurt? Did you have to step in? I try to keep that open channel with my children to come and tell me. So then I ask them, how did you feel when that happened? I find it that these kids these days are having difficulty in expressing themselves. I don't know if it's the COVID time or is it just kids in general. It's very difficult for expressing. If I ask them something like, I don't know how to express, Mom, but I have a problem with it. I'm like what? You're resenting it? It's hurting you? What do you feel? I don't know how to tell you. So I think they're lacking that expression, expressing it to you guys. But we've always happened that open door thing, come and talk to me. Let it be, my nephew Aryan, or let it be my son, my daughter. I'm like, open the doors and say, come and talk to me whenever you need.
Yes.
That's important.
So what do we call such parents?
So it's called, which I was going to get to, is like emotion coaching parents. We are addressing their emotions, right? We are actually cueing into it. When we say it has to be with the body language, it's just not like this.
Right.
Yeah.
It should not be even like this.
Yeah.
It should be like this.
Comfort. Yes.
It's this, like showing them, like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
I see you. I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for you.
Absolutely.
So you have to cue into all those emotions. Somehow we sort of have that other parent styles where they're just like they're just trying to not even let them finish a sentence and trying to complete their sentence and always interjecting, even telling them how they feel.
Yeah.
Never let them fully
Express
experience
themselves.
because they don't know how they feel sometimes. They are trying to themselves understand if they're disgusted with it, they're happy with it, they're agitated with it.
Yeah.
Because there are very mix of emotions going on
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah.
They have this, like let's say if it's a friendship, they have a very close friend, but they had some feud with them, fight with them. And you have to be careful.
Yeah.
They want to make up with that person.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you go and say, yeah, I knew that. That was not a right person. I have been telling you. I've been warning you.
मैंने कहा था.
कहा था.
This sentence
Very
मैंने
famous
कहा
line.
था.
Yes.
Yes. So that's a disapproving parenting, right?
Yeah.
So you're always, you think you're agreeing with them,
But actually you're not.
you're not, because you are trying to. If you're hearing, it's like, oh, such a bummer.
Right.
Yeah, you guys
Empathize with them.
Yes, you had a very solid friendship. It's such a bummer, you guys, going through that.
Yeah.
Is there any way you can repair it?
Right.
Is there an option to repair it?
That's the kind of questions we need to talk.
Yeah. So you because you are giving them something to feel secure with, something to trust. You want them to trust somebody.
Right.
If you're telling them, don't trust that person, that means you're telling them the world is not safe.
Yeah. Yeah, always looking at the I think as parent, sometimes always looking at the negative side can make the child also like always negative. मतलब अच्छी चीज से पहले वो negative ही देखेगा फिर.
Yes. Yes.
तो and when we're talking to different people, ये सारी बातें आती हैं, and I'm so glad that we are discussing this. Of course, 1 hour is never enough for anything this kind of topic, because then आगे चल के if it could be sharing about someone you've met, you've fallen in love with, maybe same religion, outside religion. It's not easy to then communicate to parents and then parents say बताया क्यों नहीं, because हमें वो चीज़ I think एक सीखनी है, like Bhavna ji said that एक empathy दिखा रहे हैं, we are talking to them as friends, we are trying to understand, and I think एक बड़ी thin line होती है to एक आपको चाहिए कि you want to teach them, at the same time be their friend, that
be their friend, like have that trust.
Yeah.
But there has to be intimacy in the relationship.
Yes.
And a child is a very intimate relationship
Yes.
as well. It's like we think intimacy is just between partners. There's a intimacy with the child.
Yeah.
Like you can really look in their eyes, say, they should just, when they look at you, the love should be just pouring out, that non-judgmental love, right? Yeah. And that's what we call the mindful parenting, the conscious parenting. That's where it's come in. And what we are becoming is more like, give me the tools, right? I can become this very perfect parenting, they call it.
Perfect parenting, I
There's
like that.
nothing like perfect parenting.
Or effective parenting styles, right? That's what I wrote it here to send it to you, like effective parenting versus conscious parenting,
Yes.
So when you're conscious, you're literally cueing into every emotions and validating your emotions, even though it may be not really aligned with your emotions, but that's okay. You might be feeling angry inside what your child is saying, but you still have to be very empathetic what they're experiencing.
Right.
Very difficult time.
It is.
Work.
It is. Yes.
You know,
Parenting is not easy.
Yeah.
Yes, like if your 16-year-old come home and they said, oh, by the way, I slept with this person, I don't want to, and deep down you want to go and smack your child.
That's a good one.
Right?
I'm not come there yet.
I raised you better, with better values and all this, and this is what you're telling me, but he dumped me. And then it's like, okay. So what are you going to look into? Are you going to look into that your child has had an intimate relationship with this person, or are you going to take care of this broken
that emotion
and take care of that?
Yeah.
So you have to see that, okay, you can bash this child later, but let's just take care of this
on
right
her,
now. Because
उस समय ये मत बोलो that मैंने तो कहा था, ये क्यों किया तुमने, क्यों?
But
अच्छा देखा तुम्हारे साथ ऐसा ही होना.
No.
Those are things. No, but people go through that.
Yes.
That's the sad part. Like sometimes it's like हम parents को इतना credit देते हैं, लेकिन कई बार पेरेंट्स ही आपके डेवलपमेंट में और आपके कम्युनिकेशन में बहुत ये ऐसी बातें बोल के आपको रुकावट करते हैं. That's true.
Yes.
I couldn't get that word, but thank you, Charu.
But I think that parent in that scenario, I think I would be very happy that my child came and told me that. That's number one as a parent for me. I would say, oh wow, I'm so glad you've took me in that confidence zone and told me this, you know. And then, as you said, would be to console her or pacify her, you know, him or her, whoever in that situation.
Exactly.
You know?
So that's the emotion coaching parenting. And there's another one is like a fair parenting. Fair is like, okay, you are right, always right. ले लो, ये पैसे भी ले लो, कुछ करना है कर लो, मजा करो, मस्ती करो, भगवान ने इसीलिए तो इतना पैसा दिया है. I came to this country to make money. I made money, so here is Tesla and here is my credit card with $20,000 limit. Go have a party. Right?
ये भी गलत है ना?
Right. तो वो भी like we just want to be like liked.
Yeah.
Because we have our own little bit these attachment issues going on. Like I didn't get this. I hear that from a lot of parents. Like, my parents were struggling, and I want to give my child everything.
Yeah.
So I think, what is that?
Yeah.
So that means you have some resentment, something there from your upbringing, and you're projecting into this. Like, okay, I want to be better parent.
Yeah.
Better parent is agreeing with them, thinking that I am a good parent. So again, I'm a good parent. I raise this child right. So even if they make a lot of mistakes, they're still right.
Yeah,
because I raised them right. Because there's an ego there.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
we have developed this ego
Yeah.
that we're just saying, okay, I'm a perfect person.
Ji.
I become rich. I have a lot of friends. I throw parties. I see that a lot in our days.
Yes.
Like I have got everything going for me. I raise the children right too. So they can never do wrong because I'm not wrong.
I'm not.
So we're living with this super ego, which is sort of coming from our attachment styles, our parenting, however we were parented, and it projecting into our parenting style, right?
Yes.
Because I was avoidant parent. I was avoidant parenting. Now it's just projecting. I'm going to avoid everything. I'm going to just not even ignore what happened. Just be totally blinded.
Wow. You know, you keep talking about this attachment, right? So why don't you tell us, or tell our viewers and listeners and viewers, what is this attachment theory you keep telling us from the time you've been coming? You've been talking about different attachments.
Yes, so there are 4 different kind of attachments: secure attachment, anxious attachment, and disorganized attachment, and ambivalent attachment. So 4 different kind of attachment, and it was formed by Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth. So these are the 2 people came up with the attachment theory, that how we are developing a relationship based on our parented style and how our attachment was with our parents.
So why don't you tell us what each attachment mean? Because you told them, but I'm like, okay, now what does it mean?
So I put them in the example because it makes more sense, right? Yes. Like if we are, like you said, the way you dealt with your child, that's a secure attachment. And also in Gottman, we call it emotion coaching parent, right? So it's like a title parent. And that's the styles, right?
Right.
So how they both are connected. If you are secure, then you're going to be emotion coach parent, even though they never really written book about it, these 2 things, but a little bit is kind of overlap work is there. So if you are insecure person, then either you'll become the anxious, anxious person, right? So it projects as insecurity, but you have it.
Right.
Anxious styles, right?
Right.
So then if you are anxious, then it will be in Gottman's work also very like a dismissive parent, right? Like you dismiss everything.
Everything, right.
Because you're going to become very anxious, right? So you're going to dismiss everything. So when you are disorganized, like chaotic, right? Parenting, sometimes you are raised by child care center, sometimes you're left with uncle and aunt. So you have very disorganized kind of, right?
Foster homes.
Yes, foster home, people who are, like you said, abused earlier. So they are very disorganized. So they don't have secure also attachment. So they're very anxious, very avoidant. So that also is in there. Very fear, kind of what I was telling us. Like, okay, I'm just going to ignore what my child is doing. I'm just going to not deal with my emotions, right? So it kind of shows up in that as you become that kind of parent.
Bhavna ji, quick, I'll request you to come closer to the mic.
Oh, okay. My voice is kind of...
No, it's clear, but just closer to the mic is always better.
So is there one of these, are these attachments, like will one say that, like for example, let's say, I'm putting my example so people can relate. Now, when you said I was an emotional parent, right? The style of raising my child, emotional coaching. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a good thing.
So in like that, when you're talking about different attachments, are there something that our viewers or our parents need to learn, that if you are in this particular attachment zone, that I need to stop, think back, and maybe change the strategy of how I'm dealing with my child?
Yes, you always first thing comes up like when your child is talking to you, right? You see what's your reaction, right? Then you notice your reaction. Okay, is I'm getting angry? Am I getting frustrated? Am I getting sad? Like you cue into your own emotions, right? What's coming up for me? Then sort of like while you're listening to your child, that working in the play, right?
Right.
So what's coming up from me, or where is this the context, right? Is it from my upbringing? I mean, you within minutes you have to sort of really internalize a lot of things and say, okay, before I react, I kind of project it. Before I project or react, let's see what's happening with me. See what happens. We are very reactive human beings nowadays. Like this is where people kind of think say they have ADHD. It's not the ADHD, people. It's the reactive part of us, right? We are just don't have the patience. So we have to sort of see that, okay, what's happening? Why am I angry? Why am I upset? Why am I so sad? Why am I depressed with this, what my child is saying? It's okay. If you need a moment, just tell your child that I need a moment to process this. And it's okay. But ask their permission.
Okay.
Right? Don't say, okay, I can't handle this right now, so I'm going to walk away.
Yeah. I'm guilty of that. I've done that.
I can't handle it. I can't handle it. It's too much for me. Rather than say, is it okay if we could revisit this? Because I really need to process this.
Yeah.
You know, it's really bringing up a lot of emotion. Even if you want to add that, it's bringing up a lot for me. You know, with the teenagers, you can have that kind of conversation. But if it's a young child, and then you could just say, hey, you know, I mean, what you just shared with me, it's like a lot. Let's both sit down and really think about it.
Right.
How about older parents? Like, you know, when the kids are grown up, they are married, they have their own family now.
Yes.
And nowadays, सब लोग nuclear family में रहते हैं, अलग रहते हैं. So how about those parents? Because a lot of times we see that they are so overly attached because now, you know,
also.
like now they are retired and they're like, you know, नहीं अब, you know, वो बचपन का वो वापस से ऐसा लगता है कि, you know, we want to be on like
empty nester syndrome, they call it nowadays. So boundaries, you know, boundaries were really been used a lot. So how to create healthy boundaries.
But हमारे देसी culture में ये boundaries थोड़ा negative ही देखा जाता है. They don't realize that if you create good boundaries, आपका रिश्ता ज़्यादा अच्छा और लंबा चलेगा. लेकिन लोग इसको negatively भी देखते हैं.
The thought process is
So you just, actually it's very important, like right soon after you get married, and parents are also adjusted that you're not that much available emotionally or physically to them. So you just sort of one day you just say, you know, maybe we should have, mom and dad, let's have that conversation. Like, how much would you like me to come visit you? Right. So in our family, like I have all my siblings are here, and parents also. I mean, they live in different towns, but you know, we connect every week on Zoom, right?
Oh, that's
right.
Wonderful, yeah.
So we talk, we show each other's kids, or like my other sisters, they have young kids, so we get excited about that. They have whatever. My parents get to see all the kids at the same time. That's what they want, like all of you together, and which is not possible. So this is how we do it, right? So you just said like how. It's just asking the same thing what we ask our child. We have to ask our parents as well as they're aging. Like, how do you see me in your life? Like, how much would you want to see me? Like, what would be good number? And they don't want to be selfish. They was like, no, it doesn't matter. Whatever we don't care. Even if you don't come, but they do care.
They do care.
Yes, at the bottom.
They want to. उन्हें सब जानना है क्या हो क्या रहा है सुबह शाम, you know. So, but in a good way. लेकिन हाँ, I think this is one topic जो काफ़ी लाइक यू नो हम एज फ्रेंड्स बैठते हैं तो यू नो हम हमारी उम्र के लोग डिस्कस करते हैं कि कितना पेरेंट्स कितना आपकी ज़िंदगी में उनका होना चाहिए कितना नहीं. बट अगेन व्हेन आई टॉक अबाउट ऑल ऑफ दिस इट इज़ ऑलवेज सीन इन अ नेगेटिव सेंस, क्योंकि हमारा एक थोड़ा देसी कल्चर का होता है कि नहीं, यू नो, लाइक माँ बाप ने बड़ा किया तो अब आप अपनी ज़िंदगी माँ बाप के तरफ
dedicate करना चाहिए.
No, I think it's like how you are brought down,
See,
in talking.
If they are aging, they need your physical help, then I can understand
Yeah.
that you dedicate karna
Karna
chahiye. But
chahiye.
there always has to be that, again, healthy boundaries.
Yes.
Like, and it has to come from them. And I do some sessions with insert setting as well. I've done that, and I've seen that that's always an issue. Like, oh, you don't call. Like mother sometimes tells her son, you don't call me as often. Like you used to call me
शादी से
every day.
No.
Even शादी के बाद शुरू में maybe once you have your own family and you get busy, make new friends, have children or whatever.
Yeah.
Life grows, right?
Right.
So it changes. The dynamics
does.
of relationship changes. So you just have to sometimes sit down and just say, I see that you miss me. How much would you like to see me?
Yeah.
Right? Or let me tell you how much I want to see you. And tell them you really mean, they mean a lot in your life.
If I ask that question to my dad, पता है उनका आंसर क्या होने वाला है? Never is enough. Nothing is enough. See me every day, every minute. But with, of course, my dad's cool. He knows I think he understands the boundaries really, really, really well. And my parents do. So, but that was a joke. लेकिन होता है, parents always feel कि नहीं जितनी बात हो जाए.
I mean,
जितना
I
हो,
visit
कम
my
हो.
parents and my dad always say, you leaving now? It's like, I'm sitting
Already?
there. Yes, I'm there 3 hours. It's not just with me,
Yeah.
with we are
All the
4
kids.
sisters.
Yeah.
We don't have brothers. So he
Yeah.
was like, he's like, oh, I got lucky there. So I don't know whatever that means. But initially he didn't think, I'm sure, with all women in the house. But he just said, oh, already leaving? Now your kids are not even at home. They're going to college. Like, why do you have to go?
Right.
So some days I will just stay with them, and sometimes I just say, yeah, Dad, I have another man in the house. So he was like, okay, I get it. So he's saying jokingly, and I'm saying it jokingly.
Right.
But I could see that deep down he really wants me to stay a little
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, Dad, I'll stay a few more minutes.
Yeah.
But you want me to stay? No, go home. You have a man.
Yeah. My dad will say, अच्छा मैं आज he doesn't do much cooking, but he loves cooking. So he's like, अच्छा मैं आज IP में बिरयानी बना रहा हूँ, आ जाओ. I'm like, Dad, यार इतना काम है. But that I can see that.
Yes.
I can see that in my mom. And even when so we have a habit of talking to even my husband's mom who lives in India. हफ्ते में एक बार जरूर like एक टाइम है सेट एंड फेस टाइम जरूर करेंगे एंड लंबी चौड़ी बात होती है पूरे हफ्ते का एक समरी हो जाता है. So that has become like a lifestyle now. So they want it and we are happy to have that in our life. So one thing, when I have spoken with friends and people around, it's very important, जैसे भावना जी ने बोला, to set healthy boundaries. Because हम शुरू में दबे करते करेंगे. As a child, as a teenager, I think in all stages of life, right? Like it's always
it's like
good.
when you're it starts from when they at least at home in their bedroom. Like if they want to put a lock in their bedroom, you said okay.
Yeah.
Every now and then, it's okay. We might want to inspect your room because you
Yeah.
live in still our house.
Yes.
Right.
We have to have a permission to go and clean the room and inspect. With my teenager, when my kids were in high school, we had this thing like once a week we would inspect their room, and they knew that.
Fair enough.
And they were okay with it.
Did you give them a day or you would do random once a week?
Just I mean, we did give them a day so they could clean up their mess a bit.
Right.
I would be like, अच्छा आज मम्मी आने वाली है, clean करो.
Exactly. That is okay.
And उस बहाने cleaning हो जाती है.
Exactly.
That's the most
Incentive is
important
there.
thing. Yes.
Right. And then if they want to put a lock, that's okay. So see, you're giving them this time. There's another psychologist stages there too. I won't throw in there. There's going to be too much. But it's just like when they come to that age, they're trying to develop their own independence, autonomy, and all that. So you have to give them that space.
Yeah.
See, it's just like growing up in a Desi household. It's just not addressed. But when you are that now we are learning this is very, very important, and that's why a lot of family are meshed and they want to live together, but they really hate each other. So we don't want that. Right?
Yeah,
So
right.
we want to have this very good, solid relationship with having it. I don't want my children to know what I'm doing all the time.
Yeah, everybody
Same thing
needs
with
their
them.
It's all right.
privacy.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely.
We think it's like it's just like that space. We all need that space to grow in our other relationships, but having the time for children and parents and siblings, right?
Yeah.
So we have to balance everything out, right? When you feel like you're suffocated, then you don't have a good feeling for those relationships.
That's true. No,
right?
that's absolutely true. A lot of times, my mom always says कि नहीं तेरे साथ तो कोई नहीं रह सकता तू अकेले रह. I'm like, ठीक है. I'm at least being honest about it, you know, like
voicing your opinion.
Yeah, and then you are happy, I'm happy, so it's a good thing. It's a
so
good
this
thing.
is the directions we are heading
Yeah.
now, and we have to understand that. Like, if my child said I can't visit you from college, or if my parents say, hey, stay here longer, I have to understand where both sides of the attachment styles is. Like, my children are saying, okay, Mom, I can't come, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
And sometimes say, hey, you don't come this weekend, I got other plans.
Yeah.
Right.
And my children
And
have
it's
to be okay with
Right.
it. And the same time with my dad, I could say, I need to go, right?
Yeah.
And the same time, I could see that he wants me to stay because he has his own attachment style
Right.
with his parents, because he's the one. I mean, that's another generational work here. Like, they migrated from what we call Pakistan. So there's like that partition product. You know, I call it partition product because there's just sort of different attachment because there's sort of like anxiousness there too.
Right,
like
right.
if I parted ways with you, I might not see you.
Yeah, yeah.
That anxiety is there.
Yes. So that's their style, not that they didn't have a secure relationship with parents and siblings and other people. And that's another thing. Sometimes we don't seek security from the parents. We could have the same sort of caregiver secure attachment with our siblings.
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
Right? It depends, how, like if you were born 10 year older than your sibling, you might feel like more protective of your younger siblings.
Yes.
So you have to see that, like, it doesn't mean you have to be only secure with parents. You could have the same security with some aunts or grandparents or even a sibling.
That's true.
So,
someone you can relate to, basically.
Yes, if your parents were involved in the job, so you get more spend time with your older siblings, then you have that attachment. So you share secret with your siblings before you even tell your parents.
Right.
Absolutely.
I don't think it would even reach the parents if you're that close to your sibling.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's just as long as a person has a secure attachment with somebody. Right? If you have a secure attachment with somebody, you will become emotional.
Right.
I mean, this is what it has go, and that's where I call it conscious parenting. Conscious parenting is like you're totally available, you're totally in tune with their feelings and emotions, and let them express that. Set a time with your child. And we had this thing also with our household, was like we would have a time in a week, like on the weekends, like okay, we're just gonna. If we missed out during the week, didn't have time, they were busy with homeworks, we have that time set, like, okay, let's see, how was your week?
I see.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's no judgment. Like I said, somebody just want to just drop a bomb of something. We're not going to judge you. We're just going to hear you out. And if you ask for our advice, we will say, and we are not entitled to give advice either. That's another thing we have to learn as a parent. I'm not the expert. Even though I'm a therapist, I'm still not the expert. I cannot tell my children what I'm saying. And they tell me on my face, like, oh, you don't know. To this day.
And I think हमारे देसी families में ऐसा होता है कि the parents are always the expert and they have the right on the kids' decisions in life. I think that we are seeing that change. Thankfully, sometimes it's very good decisions that parents can lead you to, but sometimes, at the end of the day, as a parent, I'm also a human. I can make mistakes all the time. So, absolutely. Future में जाके जैसे आपने बोला, हर हफ्ते बात करना, share करना, I think big things, like a lot of times we want our kids to be a doctor or whatever, or engineer, but then the kid says, no ma, I'm just planning on doing this arts course. I want to be a painter. And that's what I want to be. I want to be an artist. But some parents cannot take that. And the biggest thing, I think, जो सबसे ज़्यादा accept करने में अभी भी difficulty है, is like if a kid comes and tells the parent, I'm gay.
Yes, that's a whole another day of
discussion.
But it's true, because again, we have to see where we're coming from, right? That's the emotion coaching part, like just totally mindful parenting part, just like just know that. Don't think you messed up. That's why they're gay or lesbian or whatever. Trans, you have to always think it's not about me. My reaction is about me. But what they're going through is not about me. See, that's a big
difference. A huge difference.
My reaction is from my attachment style.
Right.
What they're bringing from there, that has nothing to do with me.
Absolutely.
Their choices of career, their choices of sexuality, right? Or any choice. Anything, their career choice, anything is nothing about me. They're trying to figure themselves out.
Right.
Your part is how you're going to provide that attachment, how you're going to attend to their emotion needs. That's what our job is. Not job. It's just I want to be that person.
Right.
Absolutely. No, that's beautiful.
It's well said, because as she said, in our Indian community, we always have this key, one of the parent is much better than, in listening, and the other parent is like, oh, as you said, their attachment. Oh, this is not, how you have to do, don't treat him like a girl, let him buck up, you are making him, turn out to a girl because, maybe the child is emotional, So in that scenario where we see that a lot in our community, where one parent is like, hey, jane do, you have to like, buck up and be a man, and, or, why are you crying like a girl?
Right.
In those situations, how do you say that, parents can come close to, the child, and how can the child come closer to the parent?
So I think first thing is like when you're dating, going back to that, just see that like this is the person you think you want to have children with, right? And okay, let's say if it's arranged marriage, you get married to this person and you figure out, oh my God, I helped him like his parents. I could see that what kind of parent he's going to be, So you always can see that the relationship of your partner with his parents, or your relationship with that partner's parents, could really project how your partner is going to be parent, right? So if that's the case,
No, go ahead.
So if you have, before you become parent, you have to do some self-work. Like I said, therapy, counseling, whatever you want to call, read books or educate yourself. Are you ready to be a parent? When we say parent, it doesn't mean like the skills, right? You have to talking about, are you in tune with each other's emotions? Or do you see you're going to parent, like secure attachment? If your partner is an anxious parent, right? Even if it's that anxious part of the attachment style he has picked on, and you come from very secure attachment, you could still work together to be having that very good boundary. Then you have a child, and you could just decide that these are the vulnerable places I don't like to go.
Perfect.
Right? I don't want to deal with.
Bhavna ji, I am sorry, but at this point we are actually running out of time, and we literally have 2 more minutes. But I want Bhavna ji to give us a sum up of today's talk, because we'll continue this. This is not the last time she's here and talking about this, but give us a sum up of what you would like to leave the listeners with today.
What we were just talking about, the emotion coaching parent, being a mindful parent, or conscious parent, be fully in tune with their emotions. Your child is product of you with the genetics,
yes.
But it comes with a whole different emotion package, right? Which might not align with your emotions. So that's what we call sanskaras, right?
Yes.
So we have to always be aware of that the child is bringing their own sanskaras with their own emotion package, and your job as a parent is to just be in tune with that.
Perfect. That's beautiful advice. Charu, before we go today, you want to say something quickly, 30 seconds?
Time karke. I just want to say thank you so much. I think it's very knowledgeable for us to like recap what we are supposed to do. So it's always nice to learn that we have time to learn too. So again, be positive towards your children. Listen to them first before we can throw judgments, because maybe they just want someone to listen and not talk back. So thank you for coming and enlightening us with parenting, because I know as a parent I would love that.
So thank you, Charu, and I want to quickly say thank you, Bhavna ji, for being here today. It was an honor speaking with you. बहुत चीज सीखने को मिली. And anybody who has any kind of feedback, please message us on Namaste Radio's Facebook page. Follow Namaste Radio on Facebook and Instagram. We will be back next Saturday at 10 a.m. We are running short on time.
Share
but
my number.
we will. Yes, what's your number? Go ahead.
Yes, 281-773-3649. And or you can reach out to Vanshika if you want to connect with me for free. I have a free consultation for 20 minutes. And then one schedule session, that's okay.
Perfect, perfect. So thank you everybody. Thank you Bhavna ji. 281-773-3649 is our number. We will be back next Saturday at 10 a.m. Thank you so much everybody for tuning in. This is Namaste Radio. Thank you from Vanshika. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.